All right, guys, bring your butts back to a seat. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Woo! Happy, what is it today? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, August 24th. Happy birthday to my daughter. My daughter is 7 today. 7 years old. Where the heck does the time go? That is crazy. Oh, just make sure we get him. Yes, 7 years old. Get out of here. So the message that I sent out this morning is kind of a reminder on that. I'll just pull it up. I'll just go to that share. So the message that I sent out this morning for, my goodness, what is going on with this? So time's going to pass anyway, right? So and when you
He
have
was already like he's thinking about bringing.
Okay. So, time's going to pass anyway. Never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time is going to pass anyway, right? If the time's going to pass, why would you wait? Why would you question whether, am I doing the right thing? Should I do this? The time is going to pass. It's not about the goal that you're after. It's about the person that you could become on the journey. So put more focus on the journey and the experience and the growth and the factors that you're going to be going through, not just the goal that you're after. It's great to have a goal, but you want to have a reason why you're wanting to achieve that goal. And when you have a reason why you're trying to achieve that goal, now all of a sudden it becomes more important that you actually grow and become a different person along the process, because the reason and the purpose for the goal that you want is attached to all of that together. It's a whole process rather than just a mountain that you're trying to climb with this instant gratification world that we're around, trying to get to that outcome right away. And every day it just sucks because I'm trying, I'm pushing, I'm doing, I'm not getting anywhere. You're so focused on that outcome and not the process that you're going through. Look, the time's going to pass either way. So why don't you just make some commitments today that are going to put you on track? Like I said this morning, I started listening to Audible, and I started adding different titles that aren't really within the genres that I would typically listen to, and they're more nonfiction type based. Like there's some autobiographies, there's some things on different insurance and retirement, just different things like that that I wouldn't typically listen to. And one, what you realize about yourself different things that you forget. I love learning things. When I was in school, I loved learning anatomy, physiology, chemistry, physics. I loved those classes and I loved learning and gathering that knowledge. But you forget about that when you're just going through the same motions every single day. You're adding in something different. I know not every single one of you is on the morning meeting every single morning, and you miss things. You miss things that could help you learn, that could help you be better at your business or maybe better at your life. The same thing with learning and reading, listening to these Audible books. I'm learning things, and it really just starts to juice your soul up a little bit because you're adding more information. You feel like you're getting closer to an outcome. You're actually enjoying more of the journey and not forgetting about the outcome. We get so fixated on what we're after that we forget to enjoy this process that we're on too, enjoy going through that. So that was the point of that. And it just makes you think a little bit when you see, when you have your kids and you see them growing so quickly. I'll make sure everybody is in the room. What's that? Yeah, it's my daughter's birthday today. Oh, would you look at that? Mine's 7. How old's yours? Yeah, do you want mine? So, couple quick topics before we get in. Happy Agent Podcast. I mentioned this last week. If you're new, if you're experienced, if you're going through struggles, if you're successful, if you feel good, if you feel bad, reach out if you want to do a podcast. Again, progress about the journey. Share your journey with other people. That uplifts people. So someone in the room here, you could have a message about your journey that could help somebody else with theirs. A new agent may see you, like, someone right off, just because you're in the front of the room. Kalani was a teacher. No, she was a teacher. So coming from a teacher's salary, a teacher's life, a 9 to 4, that's not really 9 to 4. It's pretty much all day, every day. And, not having the monetary rewards that she would have liked, and maybe not getting the fulfillment that she had liked. And within 2 years comes into the business, and within the first 6 months of the year is the top agent in the Apollo Beach office by closed commissions within 2 years. I mean, that's sharing a story like that could be something that lifts somebody up who slow clap. So your journey there could uplift somebody else. Somebody else who's just getting into the business, coming out of something, another career that doesn't think maybe they're quite good enough. How could I do this? Well, you did it, and if you did it, that means somebody else can do it. Well, if they did it, I could do it. So just knowing that, sharing that journey, that Happy Agent podcast is a cool tool. Plus, now you have some documentation and that you can always look back on and share with whether it's consumers, customers, or people in your future. Move Easy, we're talking a lot about that. I'm going to have Jimmy jump on and show you how jump into Move Easy and show you how to add some vendors and just kind of look through that platform a little bit. You're all going to get an email today. By the end of the day, it may not be till late tonight, but you'll get an email by the end of the day inviting you. You're going to have to log in, create a password, and then you'll be able to start adding vendors. He'll talk a little bit more about that. Vendor list. We sent this out last week and asked you to fill this in if you can. Everybody, if you go to Google Sheets in these 9 dots up here, if you go to your Google Sheets and click on that, it'll bring you to your Google Sheets page. There's a bunch of tabs across the bottom. We're just asking for you because what we're trying to do is put vendors onto our company Move Easy page. And on the company Move Easy page is what the Apollo Beach office recommends as vendors. So if you have a vendor that you've used in any of these categories, and if you have somebody and you don't know what category to put them in, there's a miscellaneous one. But if you have a window company, appliance repairs, appliance sales, any of these things, please add your vendors in here. This will help us. As you can see, there's not a lot on there. A lot of people haven't logged in and put anything in. So if you can put some people in there, number one, you'll have access to this sheet just because it's been shared with you. You always have access to it. Number two, we're going to take some of these and put them into the company file. And then you yourself will have to add some vendors into your Move Easy platform. And then you will have some vendors that you can personally recommend. If you don't have any already, this is what this is for. It's supposed to give everybody that opportunity to provide that value to their consumers. So if you can, please go into your Google Sheets and add any vendors that you have that provide any of these services. We're wanting to have licensed people. If they're not, just put over here, licensed business, may not be a licensed contractor. Just add a little note on what they specialize in or anything over here. It's just name, phone number, email, contact, and all that. Okay, easy enough. Okay, I mentioned the Tony Robbins event next week, September 1st at 2 p.m. If you have not already done that, I'm going to resend something out today. It's for about an hour from 2 to 3 o'clock. So the Tony Robbins trainer, Stephen Hilgart, will be doing a 1-hour Zoom class. This is basically what's your next level. What are you looking to make some changes on, progress, whether it's yourself, whether it's your business. Let's get some focus on something, and that's what he's going to help zero in on. Just kind of give you a little bit of a kick in the rear end to kind of kick it up a notch or do something different that you haven't done before. The Zillow script, we're gonna talk briefly on this and what the reasoning for this is. Craig hit on this and talked about it a little bit as well. He said it was ALM was the acronym that they are talking about. Appointment, location, motivation, in that specific order. Your job is to set an appointment. All this is somebody calling you to set an appointment. Forget that they called on a specific property. Forget what it is that they're focused on. Your job is to change the basis from the property they called on to setting an appointment with them. That's it. Your job is to set an appointment on any call that comes in. I understand it's completely different than what you may be used to if you've been in the business for a while about pre-approvals, mortgages, or anything. A Zoom appointment counts. An in-office visit counts. If you don't want to meet him at a property, it's a vacant property in the middle of nowhere, I don't feel comfortable, good, bring him to the office. You don't want to do that? If it's a property, where's the nearest new construction place around there? Set an appointment there and meet them at the new construction office where there's already a sales rep or someone else there. It's in public. It's going to be well lit. It's a house. There's parking lots. There's everything there. Go meet them. But meet them in public rather than meeting them at a vacant home if you're not comfortable with that. Or start off with Zoom. Or ask them to send you a picture of their driver's license. Anything at all that makes you feel more comfortable, but that's your job. So we're changing the basis point from the property they called on, because they're going to call about a property. It's your job to, in a way, deflect from that property, because what are they inevitably going to ask about the property? They have all the information they need. Bedrooms, bathrooms, square foot. They can see the pictures. They can see that. What are you really going to give them that they don't already know, or that they couldn't read about, or that at 11 p.m. tonight they're going to be looking through the photos again and see the answer to their question? What are you really going to give them? Your value is in meeting them and opening the door for them right now until we prove otherwise. So your job is to set an appointment with them so you can build rapport. The stats show them that 90% of the agents that meet with a consumer, they end up being their real estate agent. So your job is to set an appointment with this person. Now, if you get an internet type lead and you know where they called from, it's a pretty good idea to connect with the source that they called from. Like if I go online and I'm looking for an AC, if I'm looking for air conditioning, and I call Super Heat and Air or AC Cool right now, when you go into Google, do you realize that every company, every avenue, every service provider usually they go and they take. I could do it today. I'll go online and I'll create ads, Google AdWords all over the place so that my Google ad comes up top. I don't own an AC company, but I'm going to advertise for AC repair. Somebody goes on Google and types in AC repair, Apollo Beach. I put Google AdWords all over the place so my AC repair ad pops up in the top. Mine is AC Cool right now. They click on it, they get me. All I'm doing is partnering with somebody else that I'm selling them a lead. Every other service is doing this. The Google ads, when you call them, most of the time are not the company who's come service it. It's a company that created an ad is selling leads to another company. So if someone calls me, because this happened about a month ago, someone called me and they called back and they say, hey, this is this and whatever. I'm like, oh no, I called AC Cool now. Who the heck is this? And I was confused. And I'm like, how did you get my number? And then they're asking me information. I don't want to give you any information. I was a little hesitant. I'm like, who are you? Why are you calling me? Because I called that company. This is a different company. It's the same concept. You need to align with the service that they're calling on. This happens to be through Zillow. So if OpCity calls, you're going to pick up the phone and you're going to let them know, maybe not OpCity, because it's, I don't know how much they say on there, but you can ask them, well, what site were you searching on? Great, I'm a realtor. I'm a realtor.com preferred agent, or I'm a Zillow premier agent, whatever that is. Align with the company that sent you that lead just to make that connection. You know, and I saw you're interested in a property in this area, not this specific property, because we're trying to change the basis from them being focused on the property to them being focused on just buying a home and connecting with you. The more emphasis you put on the property, the more emphasis they have in a property, and they feel the need to ask another question about the property they called on because they got them all in their head. Is there an HOA? Does the HOA allow dogs? Can I put up a fence? Can I put up a privacy fence? I noticed there's a 4-foot picket fence in the back. Can I make that privacy? What about the water in the back? I saw that the door was red. Can I change it to blue? Do you know about this? Do you know about that? Is the laundry room inside the house or is it in the garage? That 4th bedroom, is it really a bedroom? I saw double doors that are glass. They're going to ask if you continue to focus on the property. You want to give them just a little bit of a brush off of that. This is Chris. Hey John, this is Chris, your Zillow Premier agent. Zillow just connected us. I saw that you're interested in a property in Apollo Beach. What time do you want to go see it? They immediately start focusing on, well, what time can I go see it? Yeah, but I had a couple questions about it. That's excellent. I'm happy to answer any of the questions you have. But right now, homes are moving so quickly. I'd really like to get you onto my schedule so we can make sure we see it before it's gone. When's a good time for us to schedule? Can you do it today at 4 or tomorrow at 2? It doesn't matter if you can get in it within that time. Your job is to set the appointment and get them attached to you. Once they're attached to you, now you have a little more power because you've already done some work. You gave them something of value. Now you're able to, you keep them connected to you and you could do something else with that. Set another appointment. Hey, unfortunately, that one's not available at 2 o'clock. I do have a few others that are available at 2 o'clock, same floor plan, same this, when you do let them know. But you're just trying to set an appointment. Or what they were even saying is don't even tell them that the home's not available. Set the appointment at 2 o'clock for another home that's like it. Say, hey, we're going to meet at this address. I'm still waiting to hear back on the other one. They haven't replied as of yet, but let's meet over at this one at 2 o'clock. I'll still wait to hear back from them until you're able to hear back and see if you can get into that one. But you want to give them any news like that in person, not over the phone, because the minute that you give them any objection, more than likely, they'll disconnect. And they'll just go and look for another property. Find another property, call on that one. Find another property, call on that one. Find another property, call on that one. Once you get the appointment and you're able to get them into your app or get them into your CRM, now you have a stronger connection. The next thing that you're doing is telling them, so well, most of my, like we just talked about, most other buyers find helpful is I add a few other properties with similar characteristics to this one so we could find a few homes that'll compare it to. You're trying to create value with them. I'm trying to show you, let's look at a few other properties and, hey, make sure you're making the right decision. We'll see a few other properties, see if they compare to this one, if they're better, nicer, higher price, lower price, showing you where the value truly is. So, and what are your must-haves? Just trying to, again, create some more motivation and connection. And then just to recap, we're all set to meet at that property at 2 o'clock. I'll let you know what house to meet at first. So we're setting an appointment for 2 o'clock we're all set to meet at 2 o'clock. I'm going to get back to you as soon as I hear back with that confirmation. Doesn't matter. I'll let you know what the address is that we're going to meet at. But let's just go ahead and set the appointment now. Rather than, well, I'm going to work on that. I'll try to set that appointment. I'll see if I can get it available. It's an occupied home. I don't know if they'll get, you do that and you've lost them because your value isn't showing them the home to them right now until you prove otherwise. And that's your job, to get in front of them, to build rapport. Use your rapport building skills, DISC, VAK, use those words, identify who they are, connect with them. Now you have more value, and now you could start building trust. They already have the idea that you're a real estate agent, and those real estate agents are like used car salesmen, and they're not worth the money that they're paid. And I would never, my neighbor told me about one thing that happened with his agent who did this that one time, and I couldn't believe it, and blah, 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 blah. I could do your job. I practically did it myself. I found all of these homes we're going to go look at. They say it all the time. So once you meet them, now you can start providing value. Tactic said there were 3 ransomware issues last week with the first search when you Googled Home Depot. Yeah, lots are scams too, talking about the searches before. So that's basically it, just a different perspective on an internet lead that comes through. The internet lead isn't a bad lead. They picked up the phone to find some more information on it. Your job is to build rapport and connect with them so that you can get their trust. And you're not going to get their trust in one phone call, so stop trying. Your job is to get in front of them and set an appointment. Okay. Jimmy, do you want to log into that home concierge? And just, we'll show you really briefly how to add. I haven't looked at it yet. So Jimmy's going to log in and show you how to add vendors so that when you get that, number one today, if you can add vendors to the vendor list that we have on Google Sheets, and then Jimmy's going to show you how to take some of those vendors and add them to your personal Move Easy concierge if you don't have any to add. Password. Of course, Eric.
Okay, so let's see. Did you get that email from me earlier today? Did you get one today? What I'm going to show. Well, what I want you all to do is when you get a chance, go back to the email that I have sent multiple times this past week. That way you can get an idea of what the email actually looks like that you were going to get. It's going to say you're invited. It's going to say get started. It's going to talk more about the agent standpoint. It's not going to be what your clients are going to see. It's what you're going to see possibly later on this evening into tomorrow. Okay, so that's how you get this platform up and going. And then what you're going to do when you get in here, and I'm actually doing this on Thursday too, so I'll get a little more involved with it. But easiest way to kind of get moving in here, and you can see this is what my dashboard looks like. Okay, so you can invite buyers, you can invite sellers, anybody that is already pending and in dash is going to get this invite. Okay, so let me just do the timeline first. Tonight you're going to get an email, or tomorrow You guys are going to get emails saying, hey, get started, make a password to get in here. The next thing that you're going to get within probably 24 hours is you're going to get emails from all your pending transactions that are going to say, do you want to opt them in? Or sorry, do you want to opt them out, or do you want them just to go ahead and send the invite and get them going on it? So that's the two most important things to get in the next few days. The next important thing is putting vendors in. Again, you want to make sure that this is more geared towards, it's a personal experience branded to you, not to CENTURY21 Beggins, not to CENTURY21, not to Realogy. It's branded to you. It's going to have your name, your picture, your emails, all that all over this. Okay, so it's to me, to give the best experience. If you have a vendor you want to put in, it's pretty simple. On the left-hand side here, obviously you can click on each one.
So last time when they rolled, because they started rolling this out, the last time they rolled this out, your consumer was getting an email from John, a moving concierge, with no affiliation, no attachment, no anything. We're your specialized moving concierge. This is John. And our consumers were saying, why are you selling my info to people? I got this guy sending me this and reaching out to me. That's not going to happen. We added added to the home warranty disclosure. The home warranty disclosure is now a company disclosure. It's got the home warranty and a Move Easy concierge disclosure on it that says we partner with this company to help your moving experience be a lot better and easier. So we have to talk about it when you have a contractor listing and have them sign that form. Talk about it then. When you move, one of my concierge is going to reach out to you. If you tell me no, I'll just disable you in the system so you don't get any more contact. But the company does not have a way to disable it. It's a free service, and now they are going to get contacted, but it's going to be contacted as CENTURY21 Moving Concierge from Maria Lauder, Joe Aletto. It's going to be directly connected to you and CENTURY21 instead of the way they did it before.
Right. At first it's all emailed. It's them setting up an account, going in and doing some things. And then and I have a call later today to get a few other answers, but it's basically based on how they want to communicate. There is a phone number. There is someone, they have a direct concierge they can call at any time, or they can call them and say, hey, you need help finding a mover. You need, literally at first it's going to be, hey, do we need movers? Do we need utilities? It's utility helpers on steroids. But all of a sudden, let's say they want a landscaper. Now they have a place they can go where you've recommended a landscaper for them, or someone put a fence up, or maybe someone for a roof, or someone who does solar. Shoot, it could be someone who walks dogs in your neighborhood. You may put in there for them. So it's supposed to be, and it's all branded to you throughout the entire process. So if you ever have that time where, 6 months after someone moves in, it says, hey, I need someone to come and redo all of my landscaping. Hey, go on to my home concierge, and if you go to trusted vendors, you can see landscapers. There's a couple on there that you can reach out that I'm very comfortable doing it. Right.
It's a dedicated concierge, one person that's going to be their dedicated concierge that they can connect with directly if they need anything at any point in time of them owning. Somebody will probably reach out to them at some point to ask them a question, but they'll get, well, that's what the home warranty disclosure and Move Easy concierge is for. That is your point, to warn them that we partner with a free, amazing service that will provide you with free information for movers, landscapers, AC people, any of that. If you don't want them to contact you anymore after they do, tell them to go away and they'll stop. It's that easy, but it's such a valued, and then for your utilities, I know the last time you moved into this home, you probably talked to Frontier, Spectrum, TECO, Hillsborough County Water to try and set everything up. They'll help you with all of that.
Right.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter how they feel about it because you're already going to tell them about it. You're already going to tell them up front. That's why we put it on to disclosure, so that you can tell them that somebody's going to call them. And if you don't want people to call you, tell them to stop calling you and they'll stop. Yeah.
Oh, there's
they have to create,
they can incorporate.
They have to create a login. They have to connect themselves to the program once they get that. But if they don't want someone to call them, tell them to stop calling me. But then they still have a phone number that they can call if they want something.
Yep. Correct. Shoot. I mean, you're going to be able to ask Alexa. You can say, Alexa, Alexa, find me, Alexa, ask the home concierge who can come cut my grass. Like, I mean, it's going to be however they want to kind of work with the platform, they can work with the platform. Now, again, you will get an email when you get it, whenever a contract goes under contract, it gets into Dash. So whenever you actually submit it through Loop and then all that, you will get an email personally yourself, not on your personal email, but on your C21 email asking if you want to opt out for your buyer. It's super, super important that you.
That's important that you realize this. They don't ever get your consumer's information if you don't put it on the deal sheet. You have to put it on the deal sheet, which is good for title, good for mortgage, good for Move Easy, good for Dash, good for your record keeping, because we can always pull your past customer list and send it to you. So put your customer's name, phone number, and email on the deal sheet. Whenever you submit your form, that's the only way we put it into Dash, is when we know you have a contract. So if you don't submit your contract till a week before closing, your customer will not get the benefit of this fully.
Right.
And they're going to wonder, why are you having a company call me 3 days before I close asking me to help set up my utilities because you didn't submit your contract in a timely fashion? So it's important that you submit the contract within the first 3 days, 5 days of having a contract.
Right.
That's the only way we can put it in Dash and get them into the system so that they start connecting with them. Within 48 hours of it going in Dash and Home Concierge receiving the info, you will get an email that says, would you like this person to receive our service, or do you want to opt them out? That will be with every single one of them. Every single time you put a contract in, you'll get that email. You can say yes or no to this particular consumer. If you say yes, they'll get it. If you say no, that's it. Nothing.
Yep. And just think, and the thing that's important right now when this launches, because it needs to get caught up, this isn't going to be the norm. Anything that's already pending, you're going to get that. So you need to look at who that client is. If they're closing next week, does it make sense? I don't know. It's up to you. However you want to put them into the system. But you're going to have to, they may say, I just got an email from you saying about this home con. You need to be able to speak to it and say, this is a new program that we just launched, so you get some benefits that's completely free to you, whatever that might look like. So
And
just pay attention.
it's
to that
only
coming out.
for new contracts. It's not for current ones. So if you have a closing coming up and you haven't submitted the contract yet, it's probably going to be if you submit it tomorrow, you'll probably get the email. But if it's not for your current contracts that haven't closed yet.
Right. And think of this is for the life of the client. They get to use this. So it's not just, hey, they're under contract right now. Or let's say you have someone who wants to sell. Wouldn't it be kind of cool to get them on here and they can see who your trusted vendors are as they're preparing the house to sell? Wouldn't that be kind of cool to be like, hey, go, like, you're going to get this invite, go ahead and log in. And then all of a sudden they have a roofer, they have a stager, they have this. Yes, you got 2 questions. No, you're going to get it first.
This is only for new contracts turned in after tomorrow. This will
Yes.
not be for anything
Yes.
current. This is not for current. You can manually add people once you get access to the system, but this is only going to happen for new contracts turned in after tomorrow.
But anything that is pending right now, you will get an email from them. Yes. Yes. So if you have anything pending, you are going to get an email that's going to either ask them to opt in or you're going to opt out, or if they're going to accept it. Yeah, everything that's in Dash that's already there, you need to pay. So, well, this is the deal. If you have 20 transactions that are pending right now, you're going to get 20 emails. It's just to get everything started. If you don't want them, just opt out. Or yes, yep. But after that, after these next few days, then it's all new stuff coming in. You're gonna that's how it works. Anything that is pending. Yes,
If you put
stuff is listed, it's both. It's both.
If you put in a listing, your seller's going to move somewhere, and the concierge will give them services to help them.
Yep. Fine. Doesn't matter.
This is a national program.
Yep. And I would definitely invite all of you to go back to those 4 emails that I sent that actually showed the video of the walkthrough of everything. Take the time to look at it because it actually shows you what the customer is going to see and even walk you through a few options with that. And then it also shows you what I'm going to show you here, how to put a vendor in. And then I'll go more in depth on Thursday with everything. But I had a couple questions on here. Do we need to ask the vendor if they want their name listed with their CENTURY21 baggage? That's the quick answer to that is, do you call them every time and say, hey, can I refer you to this client? Because this is your personal trusted vendor list right now that you're putting on there. So do you just give the number and have them call, or do you have to call them first to make sure it's okay? If not, I would put them on there if it's someone that you use all the time, because it's going to be branded to you. So you're giving them that.
It doesn't hurt to call them and say, hey, just so you know, I've got an amazing new service and I'm putting
Yeah.
you on a preferred vendor list. So you might get some more phone calls from
Yep.
myself or other people in my office. Do you have an issue with that?
True. And get the right contact information too, because they may not want their cell. They may want a office number that's on there when you do it. So just make sure that looks good. So again, what we're going to do, this is your dashboard. You can see here where you can invite new clients. We're not talking about that right now. Okay. We're going to go down here where it says my vendors. Okay. And we're going to add and edit a vendor. Now mine's going to look a little bit different because I'm an admin. So it actually shows stuff that we already have kind of set up for some things. Okay. All you're going to do, easiest way to do it is click on add single vendor. Anything with a star, you're going to put it in here. So vendor name, put the company name. This is a drop-down box. So this is why there's so many different options in here. This literally has drop-down boxes for appraisers, architects, attorneys, audiovisual, bath remodeler, carpet cleaner. There's a lot of different options that you have in here. Okay. And then you can see on that Google sheet, I just focused probably on, I don't know, I was just throwing some stuff in there, but if there's anything else that you could think, throw it in here. Okay. So what you're going to do, yes. No, this is where you have to do it. That sheet is only there to give, let's say you don't have a roofer and you want to put a trusted roofer that Chris recommends and he puts it on that list. You can grab that and then input it in here when you do it. It's just like
The Google sheet that's attached to your Gmail is a shared document within the office that we're asking for your help to provide your preferred vendor list that you would like, that you can add there so that it's accessible to everybody. Because on Move Easy, your moving concierge, you're going to have your personal page that you can put your own vendors in. If you don't have a vendor, wouldn't it be nice to add one? And that's what the Google Sheet is going to do, give you access to look at other people's vendors and potentially add them to your list so that you can provide a better service. They're two completely separate things. They're not going to import or cross over. The vendor list we asked you to put out is literally share with us your vendors so we can offer it as a company and the individual agent can offer it as a service. And then we are going to manage our company page, but you have to manage your vendors on your personal Move Easy page. And that's what the Google Sheet will do. It'll give you the ability to add vendors if you want, but you don't have to.
okay, so this, if it's not on that list, then it goes directly to the office. So whatever we put in it, which is another reason why the Google Sheet's good. It automatically. So if I go and I look for a landscaper and you don't have a trusted vendor, it goes to the office. And then if it's not there for the office, it goes to the company. If it's not there for the company, it goes to a home advisor that has at least a 4.2 rating on what they have there. And then if for some reason it's not there, they can call their home concierge and their concierge will do research and find something for them.
That's the only way we'll see it if you add it. I can't pick
Right.
it out of your brain.
So if
So
you
you'll have to
yeah.
manually add it to the Google Sheet.
And then again, once you get this update, come in here and start adding your vendors to here. And if you don't have one, go to the Google Sheet, look at what's on there, and see if you want to add them. Okay. And then what you will see, like again, mine has all the offices, but you will see here under my vendors, you're going to go down and you're going to see if it's office or not. And then you're going to see here, like for instance, I put one right here. You see how there's not an office? That's one of my personal ones. Okay, so that's going to show up on my trusted one. But anyways, add single vendor. You're going to go in, click add a single vendor, add the vendor name. So the company name here, what their vendor title is going to be. Let's say it's a landscaper. You're going to put a phone number. They have a website, throw that in there, contact number. And the other thing that's important too is on the right-hand side where it says counties. Okay. So it's important when you go in and you add them to make sure that your vendor is willing to go to Manatee County or whatever it is, because we want to make sure that they're seeing the right things. So if they're only in Hillsborough County and they're moving to Spring Hill, they're looking for a landscaper, we don't want them to see your landscaper for Hillsborough County and calling like, hey, can you do this for me? It's only an hour away. Like, you want to go do it? No, probably not. Okay. There, and then you hit add. That's it. Now you can do multiple vendors. You can download a sheet that has the CSV where you can put 25 different vendors in there and then add them. It's a little more confusing if you don't know how to work with CSVs and downloading files and adding them in. So adding a single vendor is probably, so the most important thing, yeah, it's probably safest. So the most important thing for y'all to do right now, yeah, please. Most important thing right now, go ahead. What's that? Yeah, I thought you had a question. That's fine. You ask, right. Yep. All of a sudden you give
might-
us 10 and you're like, what?
You want to add the ones that you would recommend, and if it doesn't have one there, the consumer will have the ability to go to the office, the company, or Angie's List. They always have the option to go and look at like Home Advisor, Angie's List type thing to pick out the top 4 or top 5 with the top ratings. So that's they have that possibility and capability. But if you have someone that you've worked with who's referred business to you and you know they do a good job, that's where you want to put them there.
So I guess I would say a couple things, and I'll come to the Regina had a question, but obviously the things you need to be looking for in the next few days is that email so you can set a password. Next thing you want to do is get into your vendors and start adding your trusted vendors. After that, look for any email that is already look for emails that are going to come through for all of your pending transactions and decide if you're going to opt them out or not. Okay, those are the 3 things you need to do. Look for the email, click get started, make your password. Go put in your vendors as soon as you can after that standpoint, and then look for your emails for any pending transaction that's already there, deciding if you want to opt out or not.
And that's why, and I apologize. The information I was saying was if it's a pending contract, you'll get an email. So at that point, you decide, do I want to send them the Move Easy Concierge or not, based on how close their closing date is and how you don't want to get any pushback. Well, thanks. This would have been nice to have 2 weeks ago. So, make sure you make that decision based on how far into the process they are.
And this is the deal. Yes.
You can opt out up front and you can put them back into it at any point.
Yes. You can invite, you can invite people at any time. Again, you just have to decide if it's a buyer or seller where they're at.
Or you can just opt them in and give them a call and say, hey, I opted you into a program that has access to all of my vendors and everything there. It's typically also used for people to set up utilities and things like that. But since we're so close, you've already got that. But I wanted you to have access to all the people that I have that do all of these things to help you out here. It lasts forever. It's a way for you to stay connected. 2 years later, your homeowner can call Move Easy and ask them for a referral for an AC company. They can literally just pick up the phone and say, hey, I talked to you a couple of years ago. This is my name and address. I need a referral for this. And they'll give them one.
And there's a lot more to this platform. We're not going over it right now. Thursday, I'm going to go through more of it because there's even a way you can go ahead and you can literally turn off the automated emails to go out. But we're going to go through more of that on Thursday and going forward and stuff like that. So, and this is the thing too. If you don't do anything and you just sign up, set a password, and you just want everybody on it, guess what? There's vendors, there's stuff that's going to be there. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to make it more personalized if you really didn't want it. If you go in, you set your password, you're launching, you want everybody that's pending to get started with this program, don't do anything. It's going to be there. It's going to have your name on it. There's going to be vendors somewhere that will most likely work. But you want it more personalized, which is why you want to come in and add some of your own vendors. I got a question on here, said with new construction pending, set to close September, October, November. So Regina, my question would be, are they already in .loop and have been submitted and in Dash? If you're sitting on contracts from September, October, and November, then they will not get anything, and you would have to manually do it. But I would say if you have those construction contracts, those need to go to admin so they can get approved to get into Dash anyway. So if they are already in .loop and have already been approved, that means they're in Dash. They will be getting these emails come the next few days. Hopefully that answered that for you. Oh, this is a question I did ask. If you decide you want to add someone to this program, let's say it's a listing. Let's say you want to get a seller involved on this platform so they can find people to get their house ready to go. And then you get a listing agreement signed, you get everything sent in. It will not re-enroll them. It won't do anything like that. They will already see that they have a program. So you just have to make sure that the emails and everything match, obviously, what you're putting in, like on the deal sheet, but it won't send anything twice, if that makes sense. But that's all I'm going through. I don't want to confuse anyone else.
One last thing, I saw this yesterday and it was really important to bring up two things, what's wrong with this, both of them. But this first one is really important to talk about because I've seen this a couple times. And the second one is just kind of funny. What's wrong with this picture? What's it say up top? Under contract. What's it say in the middle? I just told everybody and their mother what we went under contract for. What happens if something goes wrong with this contract? Now everybody is in a better position than my seller. Don't do that. Do not do that. There's a lot of this going on, and I've seen tons of people putting posts up, and I know you're excited you sold a home. Don't do that. If I was a seller, I'd be pissed. What if you had a higher offer but worse terms? And now that higher offer with worse terms, this offer cancels, and now that higher offer with worse terms somehow saw this, says, nah, I'm not doing it. I'll offer you what they offered you. Too bad, so sad. Oh, you don't like it? Go get one of your other offers in. Obviously, ours was second best, so go get one of the other ones. You just put everybody in a better position than your seller. Don't do that. Stop. Under contract is great. Under contract, this guy also talked about how it was under contract in less than 12 hours. Don't do that either. That 12K could have turned out to 15 or 20 more, but it was only 12K because you did it in under 12 hours. And then this other one, what's wrong with this picture? Are those pigs? Oh, they're so cute. Ah. And then there's another picture from standing right here, looking down the kitchen little galley right there. And there's another dog running. And then there's another picture from the other side of the living room looking back. And there's another dog running through the picture. It was just perfect timing. I saw that on social media, and then I saw a new listing pop up. That was this one. And I looked through, there's like 5 or 6 pictures with that and a couple people in the photos too. Brand new listing, hire professional. They're also offering 2%, and they're probably taking 1.5 or 1. I don't know. It's not. So just so you know, what's wrong with these two things, please don't do either one. Hire a professional and don't disclose those contract prices before, even if it's even if it's true. Yeah, we kind of took this much over asking.
Pointing out the fact that this picture has dogs in it.
Yep, the picture's got dogs in it.
Yes, exactly.
So you don't list the house with a picture with a dog in it.
You are
why
absolutely
people-
correct. Lots of dogs, lots and lots of dogs.
Sometimes I think with the photographer not kind of like
All right, guys, that's it. Happy Tuesday. We will talk with you soon. Have a great day.